morning, everybody. I hope the start of your day is amazing. I've got a pretty busy one ahead of me. I'm going to take you guys on a normal journey today. No crazy and hijinks. I'm just going to show you what it's like to wake up in the morning and have to feed several hundred snakes and get a bunch of snake work done. So I'm going to welcome you into my world of snake breeding for the day. Hope you guys will enjoy it. Let's get going. So people ask me all the time what it's like to have so many snakes and to have to feed them. And I'll be honest with you, one of the things I think is really cool about keeping snakes is the way they eat. Now, I don't like feeding off animals because I'm an animal lover, so I like rats and mice and rabbits and all the things I have to feed. But I do enjoy feeding snakes. I just find it fascinating that these snakes can eat such large meals, something 2 times, 3 times the size of their head, and they don't have arms or hands to help them out. So what do you say we just get feeding a bunch of ball pythons and a few other snakes? Just have a good time. A bunch of animals and not feed my chameleon Karma. So what do you say we go do that? What's going on, bud? You hungry? Hi, buddy. You hungry? All right, let's see if he's gonna eat. What's cool this time of the year is that everything is just power feeding. So when you try to feed a snake, it just eats and it doesn't get any finicky. There's nothing worse than having a snake that doesn't want to eat. This brings us to a different part of the vlog. What you just saw there was my Canon 5D taking a nose plunge into the cement. And guess what? It is broken. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit, get away from the snakes for a minute and talk a little bit about vlogging and daily vlogging. Now, the one downside to daily vlogging is that we use a bunch of gear. We use 3 or 4 different cameras, we use GoPros, we use drones, and they are being used every single day. And unfortunately, sometimes things go wrong. So in the last week, I just got my 70D back, which is what I'm filming with right now, and I broke the actual back piece of my Canon G7X Mark II, which I've been really loving to film with, and now I broke my Canon 5D. So listen, that's just kind of part of it. So one of the things that you guys may not see is all the abuse that the gear gets, because when you're running and gunning every day, you're not going to be able to take care of the gear the same way you are when you only film once a week. So regardless, that was a pretty expensive time lapse, seeing as I've got to send my Canon 5D out for repair, and I don't know, it might be able to get repaired, or maybe it's, and just to put it into perspective, that's about a $3,000 camera body. Thankfully, the lens, that's a $1,500 lens, didn't get broke. Just thought I would share that with you, some of my commiseration. So let me say something in the comments to me to make me feel better about the fact that I just smashed my camera. I'm sure it's not the last one I'm gonna smash. Okay, so now that I'm done complaining about the fact that I'm breaking all this gear and it's costing me a fortune, it's okay. I just thought I would show off a couple snakes really quick. A bunch of people have lately been asking me to show off some Australian pythons, and of course, I think that one of the coolest Australian pythons happens to be the Woma python. Now, Woma pythons are just really awesome animals. They're really closely related to the black-headed pythons, but of course, these guys don't have the black head to them. They stay, about 5 to 6 foot. This is an adult female that's been producing, so they're, they're only like this size. So really, if you're ever thinking about something bigger than a ball python, but not something that is so big like a retic or a Burmese, this is a pretty decent option to move up, to be honest with you. And as you can see, typically really super placid animals. They do have a pretty heavy feed response, but other than that, they're really, really tame. They don't move quick, so they're great for people that are a little bit more freaked out about handling snakes. But I tell you what, Woma pythons, the first pair of Woma pythons I bought, I absolutely freaked out. I got it from a guy named Don Hamper. It was at a reptile show out in Maryland, and I spent $15,000 on the pair, and I was only like, early 20s at the time, so 15 grand to me was like a fortune. And I never remember driving home with that pair of snakes, with that pair of snakes in a bag, and just like, I just couldn't believe I bought a pair of Woma pythons. Now they're very affordable. They're usually under a couple $100. Great snakes, and again, one of those Australian snakes. I'm going to show you guys one more thing, and this is a jungle carpet python. Now, there's a lot of different carpet pythons. There's mainlands, there's albinos, there's Darwin's carpets, there's even Irian Jaya, the Indonesian ones, but this happens to be the jungle carpet python. Now, I'll be honest with you, a lot of the jungle carpet pythons that are in the United States now are probably not pure Atherton tablelands, because those guys, number one, are usually pretty aggressive, and they only get about 4 to 5 foot. Most of the jungles in the US now are probably some sort of integrate between either a coastal or possibly even a diamond python or something like that. But nevertheless, the point is they're really gorgeous snakes. They've got that super black and yellow and really cool. And again, much like the Woma pythons, they don't get huge, but they're bigger than, say, a ball python. These guys typical jungles will get 6.5 foot, something like that. This, again, adult female right here, so you get an idea of how big they are, and they're really great handling snakes. Typically really placid, and again, a lot more active than some of the other snakes. So if you want a cool display that an animal's going to be crawling around and really cool, this is a great option. So regardless, I figured after doing a bunch of feeding, I would just show you guys some snakes rather than just showing feeding all this whole video. But there you guys go for the people that wanted some Australian pythons. I've got other stuff like children's and spotteds and stuff I could show you some other time, but wanted to at least show you a few Australian pythons. So tell me down below in the comments what you think about feeding so many snakes. Is that something that you'd like to spend the day doing one time? Who knows, maybe sometime I'll have a contest and invite one of you guys over and you can have a day with us and kind of just feed or do whatever you want. But I want to know what you think about that. Was it cool to see all those snakes feeding? Let me know. And speaking of contests, I've got this shirt here, Don't Fear, Respect, the ones I wear all the time. I'm gonna give one of you guys one of these shirts. All you have to do is make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and then in the comments say, I hit the notification bell. And I'll just randomly pick one of you guys and I'll send you guys a shirt. As always, we sell shirts at BHB Reptiles. You can buy all kinds of gear there if you so choose. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed today's vlog and I hope you have an amazing day. As always, be kind to somebody, and I promise I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow.